everyone, welcome back to the Siblings Den Reacts. We're here to react another DreamSMP video. My name is Morticia Million, and in the corner is my sibling, Wingless.
I want to be out of the corner. I mean, Wingless Dragon, yeah!
And thank you again for all the responses in the previous videos. We really enjoyed the comments. I mean, it's mainly Wingless responding, but I thumbs up all of them.
You guys did a great job. I love the interaction with everyone. Keep it up. And for those who haven't done so and have left comments, be sure to subscribe, thumbs up. We appreciate all of the influx that has come up with all of our videos, and we just keep it up. It's super great to see.
Yeah, and it will help us a lot if you click that subscribe, click the bell, and oh yeah, and like everything. Yeah. Okay, so where is this video? I know we're Dawn of the 16th. So this is like the next of the series of SADist videos.
Yes, exactly. This one is the one right before the hog hunt.
Oh, okay. So second last of
It is. I would say this is the one that I think is done much better than the hog hunt, but I think hog hunt is gorgeous in its own way as well. This is, I think, where she found her like visual stride. While the last one she did great, the fall really showed her improvement from one to another. I think this is where she like really tweaked the little bits and bobs of it, and visually this is the one that's, in my opinion, is the best looking of them all. But as I mentioned last time, if you haven't seen the reaction video, the fall, go check it out. But that's the one is still my favorite, but this one's very gorgeous. This is the latest in the DreamSMP strip of SADist stuff that we're going to take a look at. We'll see if SADist does any new ones. We know that she's done other videos recently. If you haven't checked it out, I did a solo video on the bloopers, so that's worth taking a look at. She has released another one that's outside of the DreamSMP stuff, which I think we're probably going to take a look at as well. This is the last one within the series of the DreamSMP that she has in our series. We've already done the hog hunt, obviously.
Yeah, and after this, we'll start doing react videos and everything that people keep suggesting in the comments.
Yeah, you guys have left a lot of suggestions in the comments. We'll take a look at those. But to wrap this one out, let's start it out.
This is where we take it all back. Either that, or we get nothing.
Didn't you say you want to blow up everything last time? Fishy.
This is where the lighting and all the transitions work so well.
What do you think gives you power? Is it your crown? Is it the fact that you're king?
Money.
Oh, I love this song. Hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more.
If respect is the only thing protecting you from a knife in the back, respect is nothing, right?
I love that little addition.
That from the beginning,
also, talking more is good, Dream.
For everyone.
Fundy!
Just with those discs. No matter what happens here, you know, if this is all blown up, if you have 1,000 men
or
by
flag.
your side,
They murdered a flag.
All of the best PvPers. If Technoblade was or not, it's me and you versus Dream.
What you say? Is that always the case? Oh, it feels that.
Now this is the vault.
Oh yeah, that's the first time we did it from.
Yeah, exactly.
I am ready for revolution, boys.
Everyone's so excited. Tubbo stealing all the gems.
And Fundy stealing more stuff.
Manberg, Pogtopia? Who cares?
The thing that I built this nation for doesn't exist anymore. It's over.
What are you doing?
Time to blow up stuff. Press the button.
God, the action is so good. Tubbo's so happy.
And big smiley faces.
Do it.
You know, if I die, this country goes down with me.
You had a dream and I followed it, but you brought it downhill. Everything you
And then he has a
ruined it.
stroke.
Wait, Fundy talks?
Yep.
I did not spend weeks planning this revolution, giving you guys gear for you guys to go in and replace one tyrant with another. Don't you see what's happening here?
That was the same, Phil.
Don't you see history repeating itself?
Technoblade sounds way more serious here.
It was never meant to be.
Don't you come back no more.
Do it, Phil. Kill me. Phil, kill me.
You're my son!
Wait, what? Luke, I am your father.
You want to be a hero, Tommy? Then die like one!
Oh, they're supposed to be withers.
Yes, that's the first time he's summoned 2 withers. So
Yeah, so the video is definitely way more dramatic in focus, and the pacing felt way better.
agreed. I mentioned in the last video how SADist is really good at making it feel like the camera is moving with the scenes. And this is the one where she's really gone above and beyond that, especially when the scenes, the fighting, the transition from one scene to another. She exemplifies that so much more in this. Just the scene of just the scene of all of everyone going into getting the gear from Technoblade and how it just bounces from one person to another. You've got that pink glow into the blue-gray colors. All of that transitioning of color, all of the movements within it work so well to just build up that flow as if like the camera's just moving throughout. Same thing when you get to the part where they're jumping off from the tower and they're all like fighting Dream together. It feels like she's making the cameras move at the same time, and it's just nuts how much she's done it in this one compared to what she was showing in the last one in the fall. Because there's so much action in this one, I guess that's maybe the reason why there was a lot less of it in the Hog Hunt, but so much of it was really, really well done in this one. The art, the lighting, I would say the music is not as intense, but she does a great job of using the beats of it to really hammer in the scenes and how it transitions and moves throughout this video, this animatic.
Yeah, I get the impression where it's like different. I mean, each of her videos gradually gets better at presenting it. She has like a theme. So this one, it has a theme where it's been more, there's more action. And I guess that's where the pacing goes more. It reminds me of like the Avengers Civil War movie, Captain America Civil War. This video has more of that feel. Of course, in DreamSMP, they're always fighting all the time, but at least they seem to have a more dedicated, focused target most of the time, or political goalie. Here, there's just like, we're all gonna fight together, and then we fight each other, and then, yeah.
And that's sort of what was being said by Tommy to Tubbo before.
Before Wilbur, before everyone, just with those discs, no matter what happens.
It's always about those discs.
If this is all blown up, if you have 1,000 men by your side, if you have all of the best PvPers, if Technoblade was or not, it's me and you versus Dream.
So that's essentially the roundabout thing about it. The reason why everything kept escalating is because of Tommy and Dream. That's what Tommy's basically indicating. It doesn't matter what everything else is about. At the end of the day, it's really fighting for the 2 discs Tommy had like such an attachment for. And at first, Dream didn't think too much of it. He just really wanted to stop Tommy. But later on, it got to the point where Dream saw how possessive Tommy was for those discs, and it just kept escalating things. Tommy relinquished his disc to create Manberg, but basically lost Manberg through the elections where Jschlatt took it. Well, then Jschlatt started doing stuff with Manberg that they didn't approve of, while Tommy was just like, well, I just want my discs back. So he's really focused on the fight with Dream, but Wilbur is disillusioned at that point. That's why he's in this one going like, the thing that I built the nation for is no longer there. We find out a lot more later on because the DreamSMP has like picked up more lore and more information up to this point. But as of now, whatever Wilbur thought that the place was for, he didn't want it anymore. And so that's what led to them all going and basically taking down Jschlatt. But Wilbur had a whole different side of him going, well, it's like, I don't want this to happen anymore. And I think that's what's really good about how SADist has picked up a lot of these points is she took a lot of the critical points of all of the things that were happening in the DreamSMP. And this is the one that I think she's concised so much of, I would say, the lore of it together without compromising on how intense it can be. Like in the other ones, I think she just picks like a very focused moment, but this is really like a lot of scenes.
But as it comes down to what I was saying, she has a theme, those videos. The other videos may seem like more focused, but here the theme is to each all have different perspective and consequences. So basically what this video is, we're going to each perspective. Right now we see Tommy's perspective telling to Tubbo, I'm guessing. He's just going like, in the grand scheme of things, the only thing I care about is the disc and finding Dream. And that's that. And then we have Wilbur going mad or whatever. It's like, well, at the end of the day, I care about Manberg and thing, but that's gone and I don't know what else to do than just end things. And then Technoblade is like, you're all fools.
Well, yeah, because the shtick with Technoblade is he doesn't care for governments. That's his like longtime joke at that point. It's like anybody who wants to start a government, he sees something wrong with it because he's an anarchist, or at least his character believes in anarchy. That's sort of the reason why he helped out Pogtopia, was to be like, oh, I'll help out take down the government, but I don't want another government started. And that's exactly what happened. It's like, oh, okay, we're gonna bring that up. And it's funny that it doesn't get shown in the video, but during the scene where if you watch the perspective of Technoblade, you see that Dream is DMing Technoblade, being like, is this what you wanted after this fight? And Technoblade is like, nah, this is starting to sound like they're gonna start another government. It's not what I wanted. It gets removed from this and it's fine. But in the hog hunt, you know, at the end where he's like, welcome home, Theseus. Well, at the end of this scene is where he starts talking about the story of Theseus and starts talking about the fact, if you want to become a hero, then you're going to have to die like one. And so he spawns two withers that ends up starting to distract everyone, gets Wilbur to walk away from the scene. And then Wilbur, who had already set up to blow up the place, and some of the people already knew that it was set up. The TNT was supposed to be taken out. It got replaced. And so Wilbur's goal at that point was to blow things up. However,
What you say?
these crows are a reference to Filza. It's been mentioned, and a lot of the comments have mentioned that to us as well, so thank you very much. But the crows represent Filza's chat reaching out to Filza if something comes up with something related that he can reach out to. This is what brought in Filza into the Dream SMP, was right at the scene where Wilbur went to the room to blow things up.
To press the button.
But this is where it's really nice, is because it demonstrates in this animatic that Filza was understanding and going to be involved in this before even being part of it yet. So yeah, you have the birds that have just that scene, and then once it gets to Wilbur,
who cares? I don't know who that guy is.
The thing that I built this nation for doesn't exist anymore. It's over.
What are you doing?
And that's what Filza joins.
Who's the blackface one?
BadBoyHalo.
Ah, okay.
His naming for himself is kind of funny because he has generally a very PG streaming, and anybody who swears, he's always like screaming at them, language!
So he's like Captain America wannabe?
No, not really. He tries to keep his things PG. He's very focused on like trying to give content to younger audiences that can watch this stuff, because obviously everyone else swears, or at least has bouts of more adult themes. It's not that he's not afraid to swear or whatever. He just feels like after a while his content became very synonymous with like more PG related stuff. So it was kind of funny that for the Dream SMP he tried to play the villain arc.
The PG villain that does not swear.
PG to PG-13 at this point, but it's still interesting that he's still trying to be like being an evil person, but still trying to retain the PG elements and stuff. I digress though. This is where Filza shows up for the first time. And to give context, where I know you were surprised when we were watching it, the context of it is Filza is the father of Wilbur. That's why it's intended to be very powerful, because you had Wilbur trying to do something like really radically critical, and basically his father shows up. You're like, what are you doing? And then the lineage continues where Wilbur considers Fundy his son because of like him being quote unquote born in Manberg when he arrived, type of thing.
Okay, so wait. So we have Filza, which is essentially opposite Darth Vader. So instead of trying to convince Wilbur to join the dark side, he's actually trying to prevent Wilbur from going to the dark side. Say, no, stay in the light side, don't press the button. And then
not so much the light side aspect of things, he's really just like a father figure.
I'm just using metaphors.
Yeah.
And then somehow Fundy is Wilbur's son?
Yes.
So adopted?
No. No, but if I start explaining to you how that works, you're just gonna not understand. So I'm not gonna even bring it up. Comments.
I don't know. Wilbur and a fox?
No, you're almost close, but it's weirder than that. For both Filza and for Wilbur, of who the significant others are for them. Comments, you know what to do. Please provide that information. I'm not going to bring it up. I want you guys to do it. Just at us and explain to Morticia the really family dynamics on it. I think it'll be funny coming from the comment section than me bringing it up. Anyway.
So the crows and the foxes?
We're not going into it. So this is a really good scene though, because this is like when Filza shows up, but then immediately Filza's dealing with the fact that after Wilbur triggers the bomb and blows things up, he demands that he gets killed because like he lost his like way and doesn't know what to do.
There was a saying, Phil,
Don't you see history repeating itself?
by a traitor. It was never meant to be.
Don't you come back no more.
Salute, press the button, boom.
Do it, Phil. Kill me. Phil, kill me.
So I like this scene in regards to Filza because Filza's known to be like, I think he does a lot of videos in regards to him flying a lot. And so like his characteristics is he's really good at flying all the time. He does it a lot. I think there's a mod game that he likes playing that involves gliding down a tunnel constantly and you have to dodge and weave and stuff. It's really cool. I saw a video of it. They made like a new version of it. In this scene, it was great because he protected Wilbur from the explosion in the animatic, but then now his wing is constantly damaged and it's even represented again when you see it in the hog hunt where the wing is damaged again. But this is the scene where like Wilbur's just like, no, kill me. He had one cannon life left and he wanted Wilbur to take it.
Yeah, this is before it becomes like Wilbur Ghost or Ghost Wilbur or Ghostbur.
Ghostbur is afterwards, yeah. In the hog hunt, everything that involves blue is Ghostbur related because the whole idea is that Ghostbur he calls it giving blue, but basically he gives something to people that it'll absorb the blue out of them and the blue is basically all their sadness and then you can just throw it away. That's the whole analogy that why he does that constantly, and then he eventually found a sheep and had it blue and he's like, oh, I named him Friend. He's all like happy and cheerful with them. This is happening while Technoblade is about to get executed, so so that's why the hog hunt is so funny that like there's a scene where Wilbur's just there, but like you watch the actual thing and look, I have a friend here. Technoblade's like, I'm kind of in a more serious thing than I have to talk to your friend thing.
I'm about to get executed. Put a pin on it.
Yeah, exactly. SADist is good at focusing on like what the serious notes are. If you actually watch the like everything going on, that's why it's funny. That's why the DreamSMP stuff has so much good content. You could basically just take all of just the humor funny parts out of it and it'd still be funny. Going back to the Dawn of 16th, this is one of the like more critical moments. Funny enough, this is not even the nuke moment.
Is that after the explosion or before the explosion?
So this is when Wilbur explodes Manberg. It damages Manberg to the point where the surface of Manberg is relatively damaged, but they're able to reconstruct it later with like above houses and above platforms. So they make it as if it's like waterlogged.
Okay.
Later on, and this is events after the hog hunt, that's why I'm looking forward to seeing what SADist does later on, is when Dream goes to recruit Technoblade and in turn Filza joins as well to eviscerate Manberg. The reason why is because of the hog hunt. The set in motion to go from one thing to another because Filza shows up and then he joins Manberg, but then immediately gets arrested and put into house arrest because of his actions during the Manberg situation. And then Filza, who's friends with Technoblade, sees that they tried to kill Technoblade when Technoblade tried to just retire. And that was after he had released the Withers. That's why everyone was pissed off at him. That's why they did the hog hunt. It's just all of the story plots going together. And that's why, like, if you watch all of it, it does actually go one after another fairly well. You definitely wouldn't get all of the story beats, but you get an idea of like, okay, well, the group of them weren't too happy with Technoblade, so that's why they did the hog hunt. And then afterwards, well, because they tried to kill Technoblade, well, now Technoblade's pissed. Dream is taking advantage of that. Well, and he's also manipulating Tommy, where he got Tommy taken out of Manberg as well. That's why, like, this whole the story plots and points of the Dream SMP is crazy and very, very intricate. So So maybe at some point we'll go over and review all of this stuff. It really comes down to this being the first real detrimental event. And in this case, Wilbur's the one who triggered it and then gets himself killed by Filza when Filza arrives. Basically him being told to come by due to his crows, essentially. And SADist is really good at it, implying that that's how he knew to show up. Super intense, really well done.
It's like, hi dad, stab me please.
Let's go to a scene I think you'll like.
Do it.
You know, if I die, this country goes down with me.
Fundy talks and he's mad.
This is the most serious, cute Fundy I've ever seen.
It's also like the most lines Fundy has. It's not he's not a pretty face in a corner. He actually has words and he's angry.
So in the fall, you notice that there's a scene where he burnt the flag of Manberg and it got replaced by like a darker version of the Manberg flag. And Fundy was enthralled by being part of Manberg under Jschlatt's ruling. This is why this scene is all there where he's all serious. He's like, I followed you, but you brought it downhill. Same thing. Quackity was like the right-hand man of Jschlatt. And then Jschlatt was just like, you're just a joke. You're just following me for no reason.
I'm a drunk.
But that's what it ended up going, is that the only reason Jschlatt had any backing is because he made a deal with Dream to protect him. And so Dream was like, look, I'm protecting Jschlatt. I'm not going to tell you why. If you come and do this thing, my group is involving to fight him. So that's why you had like Dream's side. So Dream, Puns, Sapnap. You've got Jschlatt, who basically got an agreement with Dream, and Dream has his cohorts, essentially, right? So you have Puns, Sapnap. This, I think, is at the point where Carl joined up, and I don't know who the last person is. I think it's Purple.
Carl, is that Carl of Mr. Beast or different?
Yes, he became part of the Dream SMP and started getting involved. If you guys haven't seen his Tales of the Dream SMP, go watch it. It is kind of crazy how intense that is. I will be honest, and I did not think Carl was going to add anything at all to the Dream SMP, and in turn he ended up surprising me immensely with a lot of like the side lore stuff that is part of the Dream SMP with the whole time traveling thing.
Wait, there's time travel?
It's such a whole other rabbit hole to look into, but definitely if none of you have had the chance to take a look at it, really look into it. And it's implied that Carl is a time traveler, but every time he travels, he forgets. It's a really well done kind of idea. I'm really curious to see how it pans out, but so far, really well done. Very visually pleasing. He's part of like the Dream crew. And then, so Jschlatt basically got hired goons at this point. Dream decided to be the hired goon, although Dream always has his own plans in his own reasons, but that's the reason why he was with Jschlatt, to defend it. And this is why this is such a nice scene of just them being there together.
Pogtopia.
And then you've got the Pogtopia Alliance. Basically, Pogtopia, as far as I understand, is only Wilbur, Tommy, and Tubbo. They bring in Technoblade to train them. Eret decides to relinquish his crown to join Pogtopia. The reason why Eret is considered the king of the Dream SMP is because of Dream. So when Eret betrayed Manberg the first time, for that action, he was given his own royalty type of thing by Dream.
Okay.
So he was considered the king of the Dream SMP, but not really in relation to Manberg. That's why that whole scene at the start is with Dream kind of talking to Eret, being like, what's the point? Like, if what you have as king is only that, then what's the point? So then he kind of goes, look, I'm going to be on your side. I want to support you guys. I've relinquished my crown. And there's like this moment where Dream gives it to George Not Found. But then you've got Nikki, who's there. She basically was like a citizen of Manberg, but she was being kind of like abused. Not like abused in the way that like she was hit or anything, but abused in the fact that like they kept increasing taxes on her. She like owed money. She owed like, oh, well, you're a citizen, so you owe all these stuff, and like she just felt trapped.
Okay, so she's rebelling against the tax man. Okay.
Well, she's rebelling against Jschlatt, who just decides to make.
It's like, screw you, IRS.
Well. Sure, I guess. It's more just like against Jschlatt. And like I think Quackity just decides to join because at one point he gave up on Jschlatt, being like, no, like I can't deal with that anymore. And he just like, I'm out of it. And then Fundy, same thing. Like Fundy ended up being like, I don't see eye to eye to this anymore. So let's do it. So that's why that's the one thing that was funny about this whole thing, is that it seemed very like overloaded on one side. It's like, oh, everyone decided to go against Jschlatt. So at the end, that's why you have the scene where he's going like, if I die, this place goes down with me, because Jschlatt knew that one of them was going to do something, but then gave in for information to Dream that Dream wanted in story related to be able to help him. But then at one point, even Dream was like, you know what? I'm not fighting anymore. I surrender because like the person we're trying to protect is not even involved in this fight anymore. And then they just find him in the van that where Manberg got started. The joke is he had a heart attack and died, and then made fun of Quackity when he died. That's how the war wrapped up. However, it didn't get wrapped up because when they were installing who the next president was, which ended up going from Wilbur said no. Tommy got it, and Tommy's like, I don't think I should be president. Give it to Tubbo. The Tubbo's like, okay, fine, I'll be the president.
Oh, I thought that happened way before that. Okay.
Nope. And then Technoblade's like, what? You're installing another government? What the fuck? And so that's why at the end he was like, no, you know what? You guys are just understanding what the hell is going on. So that's after the explosion.
Phil, kill me. Phil, kill me.
Of Wilbur.
You're my son!
Dream going cuckoo.
You want to be a hero, Tommy? Then die like one!
It's sad that SADist couldn't put the whole speech in this, but I guess like with the musical beats, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But Technoblade, if you have to go check anything out, it's great to just listen to this, like the moment. And that's why Technoblade's really good at these moments where he starts telling this whole like history buff, the whole story of Theseus, and ends up indicating like, well, if you want to be the hero of this, then like you're going to die like one. You're basically just doing the same thing, basically usurped power that was literally voted in democratically and then installed your own yourself as a thing. And then Technoblade jokes is like, and then you gave it to Tubbo, but that doesn't matter. It's like you basically took it and you did this. But like that's why Technoblade turned on them. And he always had withers that he was going to use and release. And then eventually he ended up going above and beyond that later.
Okay, so yeah, Technoblade is an anarchist or anti-government. Got it.
Yeah, he's an anarchist.
Or a libertarian.
He's also self-driven. I mean, yeah, probably. But yeah, SADist does a great job of taking the fine points and really getting the serious themes across of this. And this one, it was jam-packed. And this is with doing such great lighting and visuals all throughout. And with a lot of characters getting involved in this as well. So like the roster of like how many people that are there is being more and more. While even the hog hunt, it was limited with just a handful of people. This is basically the whole roster of the Dream SMP.
Basically like Civil War Part 2 or 3.
I mean, this would be Civil War 1. Like the Dream SMP war is basically Dream being like, no, this is my SMP. You can't just take a land and say it's yours. And then made an agreement.
But that's not really a civil war. That's more like declaring independence, declaring your own nation. For what I understand, like at the beginning, well, aside from all the shenanigans between Tommy and Dream, and then later it's like, you know what, we're gonna start our own thing. And then Dream is like, no, you can't just start your own nation. And then so basically they have a war of independence. That's what the whole costume American independence. So basically they did an American independence thing, and then they have a fight over elections. Oh no, no, a fight of independence, and then fighting and defending that nation multiple times.
They declared independence and they gained it through the trade that Tommy did. So then they got Manberg. Then to make it fair, there's a whole election. That whole thing is a whole confusion of stuff. However, at the end, although in votes on its own, Tommy and Wilbur won, but because they merged the vote together,
the correlation,
yeah, between the other ones, Jschlatt ended up becoming the agreed president afterwards. And through that led to all of the wackiness happening in Manberg because they removed the love part for some reason.
And now this is pretty much here to take down the corruption of Jschlatt, but at the same time, they have a civil war on each other along the way.
Exactly. So you had basically the fight between Jschlatt and Pogtopia, but then you had the background things of Dream trying to like manipulate the things that were happening, and then Technoblade being disillusioned by what he was brought in to do. And now that everything happened, it was like, oh, this is not what I was stopping the government. I wasn't installing a new one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you try to take a history, like any civil wars are way more complex than just two sides, especially if it's like just a coalition of different groups merging together to fight a common cause. And once that common cause is fulfilled, it's like, okay, what now? And it's like, and then you fight over the aftermath. We see that with Russian history, Spanish Civil War. And
I think a lot of this was still role played and it evolved at the story beats. But this is when Wilbur was really the one directing how the story plots were going. And you could tell that like there's a lot of thought behind it. But I think certain beats were done by the individuals themselves. So the beats for Technoblade really getting involved, I think that's really his own, especially the weird story plots. And Technoblade, he likes having his like really prolific moment.
He likes to grandstand. Well, he's good at it.
Exactly. But everyone sort of had their little like moments of that. Wilbur definitely did. Tommy had it, but I would say Tommy was like very docile in this video. But it's funny because he's really not throughout the whole thing. But in this video, they really put him in like a docile moment. And I would say even more serious than he generally should be. And I think that's what's great about it, because SADist really took the beats of this is the plan, this is what went on, this is where we want. Great job with capturing those moments. Great job with using the music with the story beats to transition with it. And then Dawn of 16th, she does a great job of all of these visual moments in this. And this is why I say this is the one that's the most beautiful of them all, because she really, really played with the lighting.
There is a lot more scenery for sure than lighting. Yeah, scenery and imagery from the background.
And depth as well. So like this scene with Tubbo, let me find like even the, like near the start. The lighting flowing, the fish moving. That part, like when I saw that, I'm like, that's amazing. And this thing just started playing with like basically two colors, really like a gradient light going through, pulling a lot of the scenes one after another.
Don't you come back no more.
What do you think gives you power?
The parallax in this moment is so good. She plays with like as if a camera is moving. She gets the light from the windows coming in to shine into the discussion between Eret and Dream. And it does such a good job in like moving that lighting. And again, all solid colors, still doodles, still like, okay, not doodles, but like sketches, not fully formed, not fully colored, but having great levels of color to, you know, that Eret's afar, you know, Dream's ahead, you know, that it's as if they're moving and the lighting being projected into the room. All of that is so well done. She does it like it happens all throughout the video.
If you have all of the best PvPers, if Technoblade was or not,
layers,
it's me and you,
layers.
Oh yeah.
Dream.
Well, yeah.
Layers again.
And layers that goes in different speeds and directions. Yeah. In zooms and zoom outs. Yay, vector graphics.
Like everyone.
Now this is the ball.
This is such a great scene. All of that just having as if the camera just went from basically the rightmost corner, turning all the way to behind Technoblade and the group, shifting through all of them. So intense, so crazy.
Yeah, it's really well done. The illusion of the camera movements, it's wonderful.
So if anybody needs a, I guess, example of what you can do with drawings in an almost cinematic way, look at this as a great example of that.
It's not like just a drawing. She takes advantage of the tool, because I can think of like After Effects and Premiere Pro, but I'm sure this is the case with other ones. It's like, it's not just a case of having different layers, but you can have like move each section. She can have her specific drawings, but you have those drawings move without even animating them in different positioning to create the illusion of camera movement and zooming in and zooming out. So it's something you don't need to be the best drawer animation, but if you just know how to, it's just how you present it that can just amplify the information. That's what she's freaking awesome with. So it's, I mean, if it's just her, I mean, she will still get a lot of compliments for just her drawings by themselves, but just by themselves, it's like, eh. Or just like random simple animation, it's like, eh. But she doesn't just do animation. She does the entire environment, the scenery and the positioning, taking full advantage of the tools. And we see this over from her oldest videos to all the way up to Hog Hunts, how she evolved, not just her drawing style, but she gets way better at how she presents it and positioning and all that. And sometimes, and I can think of a lot of artists' videos out there, sometimes you don't need to be the best of a particular art or style. It's just how you present it. The visual storytelling can do everything else, make up for it.
Agreed.
Morticia does an entire big long lecture and it's like, agreed.
What else is to say? I think that's pretty much what we've been saying in the last 3 videos, is how like she's really able to do with very little, do a lot. And knowing how to do them is mainly understanding how to utilize what she knows to do it. So she does a great job of doing that, and time again, she just does a fantastic job. And
not spend weeks planning this revolution, giving you guys gear for you guys to go in and replace.
You had a dream and I followed it, but you brought it downhill. Everything, you ruined it.
This is where Technoblade's like, why are we celebrating? Why are we installing under the government? This is the scene. God, the details. This is when like she really got intense with the details of particular characters, and that's all like, okay, I think it's fair to say I really like Technoblade's character, but I think she does such a great job of really exemplifying what he looks like in these scenes, where she makes Fundy, even in a serious moment, look round and fuzzy. You've got Technoblade here who's serious and like brooding. What the fuck are these guys doing? type of thing. It's so crazy. But then you've got Technoblade who's like all super serious, all the lines, all the scrunchies of his nose, all of the not round at all. It's okay. Fundy, round and fuzzy. Even when he's serious.
Yeah, well, I mean, Fundy's always cute. Fundy's
always cute, even when he's serious.
Even when he's angry fox, and he's like, "Oh, I just want to pet you."
Ah, he still thinks he's people.
He does have a lot more lines. Like, he has words.
They taught him how to talk? No,
kidding. Giving you guys gear for you guys to go in and replace one tyrant with another.
Just of movements out of this whole scene is nuts.
Don't you see
like,
what's happening
zoom in,
here?
zoom out.
That was the same film.
Don't you see history
Positioning
repeating
up and
itself?
down.
By a traitor.
Camera shakes, or it's pretty much screen shake.
It was never meant to be.
Don't you come back no more.
Do it, Phil. Kill me. Phil, kill me. You're my son!
Fucking Dream going crazy. But basically, like, he orchestrated all this thing, so. Oh, it's
Dream
nuts.
going mad? No.
It's well done. I could keep going. If there's anything, this is just a great example of like, if you think you can't do a minimalistic drawing to be super intense, watch this over and over again, because there's not one scene in here that isn't well done. I think even the start of it, where it's just like one solid color and just the Tommy and Wilbur talking, is probably the only scene you're gonna get that is like dulled down. Everything else intense, like with the colors, the multiple layers, the movement, the characters, a lot of the whole character lineups, the story beats all throughout. This is the one that is the most intense out of all of them. Well done. So crazy. Like, if someone tells me this is their favorite, I understand why. I really do, because she just really puts so much effort and time in this. You can tell because of how crazy it is. And the only reason it's not my favorite is because of how much The Fall was such a leap from her last one, from the Dream SMP War. But this one is where she took it just a step further and went, basically, if the last one was a freaking overdrive, this is freaking like a rocket ship, really jutting it out.
Yeah, so overall, it just comes down to how you present. Regardless of where you're at artist-wise, how you present your art can do just as much to make it awesome. It can be presenting how you use the tool and method of presentation, can be the storytelling, the boost. Like, I've known webcomics all that started like look like really shitty drawing early on and all that, but yeah, people enjoyed and came mainly for the story and how it's presented, and we like that. And then after that, because they stuck around, they kept doing it, and then it just evolves in art and story and so on. So yeah, so even if you have like stick figure drawings, it's just like, I mean, there's literally comics out there, but it's just stick figures, and or animation of stick figures, literally, and they're just presenting a story or thing, and it still ends up being successful or great. So yeah,
I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I think we've already given our why we like it moments. What do you guys think? Give us your feedback. Give us your knowledge. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Comment down below. And if you enjoyed this video, thumbs up, like, subscribe. And yeah, not our last one for SADist though, but we will start looking into other people that have done Dream SMP related art type videos, because I do want to take a look at late August, but I also want to look into doing a quick music video Dream SMP related stuff, which I think will be a good change of pace as well. So look forward to those. And if you are into those things and the reactions, then definitely subscribe.
Absolutely. And I know from my side, people say you should show Morticia, get your sister to react to this and that, and completely saying I will catch up. Right now, we're just starting to think. I'm intentionally avoiding watching anything so we can get like, this is my actual genuine reaction perspective. So, but I'll definitely catch up on stuff. And sometime we'll get to the point where we're going to react that stuff we neither of us really watch beforehand.
If there's something that you want her to do solo, put in the comments. I'm curious what people will write down. That's all we've got for today. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a good time.
Yeah, see y'all later.
Bye. Fundy!
Fundy! Wait, Fundy.